Okay. V'yinom Adonai Eloheinu aleinu ma'aseh yadeinu kol ne'nadeinu ma'aseh yadeinu kol ne'nu. I'd like to begin the shiur tonight on Shaare Orah. I'd like to dedicate the shiur tonight Leilun Nishmat Harav Aaron Vulcan Zecher Tzadik Livracha Ruach Adonai Tenichenu Began Eden. Also for Shemaya ben Adina Ruach Adonai Tenichenu Began Eden. Also for Ruth bat Rachel Ruach Adonai Tenichenu Began Eden. Lavdil ben Metim L'Chaim. For Rafah Shema for Sheva ben Hatun Hana El Narafana Lo El Narafana Lo El Narafana Lo. Also for Rafah Shema for Reuven ben Hatun Hana El Narafana Lo El Narafana Lo El Narafana Lo. Rafah Shema for David Binyamin ben Dova Fega El Narafana Lo El Narafana Lo El Narafana Lo. Also Rafah Shema for Marcel bat Fortuna El Narafana La El Narafana La El Narafana La. And may all the people affected by the coronavirus, the COVID-19 disease of the Jewish people, and otherwise get a rapid recovery and a complete recovery. El narafana lahem, El narafana lahem, El narafana lahem, in the zechut of the Torah that we're going to learn tonight. So open up to Shaare Orah on the sheets I sent you. I think I sent them from last week. Page Mem Daled. We're on page Mem Daled 44. And of course, we're talking about the first of the gates of the Shaare Orah, and that's the gate of Adonai, Aleph Daled Nun Yud, which is the gate of the Malchut corresponding to the Sphira of the Malchut. So he says over here, Ve'ad Shem Adonai hu Yesod HaYichud HaAmiti HaShalem. And the name of Aleph Daled Nun Yud is the Yesod, the foundation of the true oneness HaShalem, like I will shortly explain with Hashem's help. Umisham ulamatahu olam hapirud, and from there below is the world of the separation. Ve'asod v'nahar yotze me'eden lahashkot et hagan. This is a pasuk, of course, from Breshit that talks about, and there's a river that leaves Eden that gives sustenance to the Gan. We'll discuss all this on the bottom and clarify all these terms. Umisham yipared v'haya le'arba'a rashim. And from there it will be separated, which means the river was separated, and from there it became 4 beginnings of other rivers. And this, of course, is talking about the Tigris and Euphrates and the Hidekel and these rivers that are in Breshit. That's the simple meaning, but the Sod is talking about, that's hinting to something else. The Elohem Arba Macharot Shekhinah, and these are the 4 encampments of the Shekhinah, Shehem Tachat Adonai Yitbarach, that these are underneath the name Yud Aleph Daled Nud Yud, Shehu Sof Kol HaMa'alot, which is the end part of all of the elevations, Shel Yichud Hashem Ilamala Mata, from the unification of God, unification of the name from above and from below. So let's see exactly what the rabbi is talking about. Let's go to Yud Bet, which is underneath the line on page Mem Daled. Hayichud ha'amiti hashalem, the true unification. Hayichud ha'amiti hashalem hu ba'olam ha'atzilut. That the yichud of the amiti, the true yichud, is in the world of the atzilut. We said the world of the atzilut comes from the word etzel, which is the highest, or for sake of us learning this now, it's the highest of the 4 worlds. That's called the world of the Atzilut. And of course, the world of the Atzilut contains 10 Sfirot. And those 10 Sfirot are, like we discussed previously in other Shiurim, they are godly, which means they are not created. They were always there, but they were subsumed within the Ein Sof. We discussed this last time, and the Tzimtzum allowed them to be revealed. And what is new about the Sfirot of the Atzilut is their ability to be perceived or to be seen, and that is what is new about them. But they're not new; they were always there. So this is the world of the Atzilut. Ma she'en ken be'olamot ha'tachtonim. But that is not the case with the lower worlds, which means, remember, we discussed this, that the highest world is called Atzilut, and then there are 3 lower worlds. There's the world of Bria, the world of Yetzirah, and the world of Asiyah, the world of creation, the world of formation, and the world of action, which is the world we are in right now, the lowest world. And these are called Olamot HaPirud, the worlds of the separation. Like it was explained in the Nefesh HaChaim, as it says, quoted, "Ve'olam harishon mehadalat meheshehetzil hu yitbarach shemo," that the first world that was emanated from the Ein Sof, asher ein anu yecholim lechanoto b'shem, that we can't really call it a name, nikra Atzilut. It's called Atzilut. What does Atzilut mean? Next to. It's not really a name. It doesn't describe anything. It's just Atzilut, which next to. It's the closest, yes? But it doesn't have a descriptor. It's not like the world of Bria, which denotes what it is, which is it's a created world. Continuing on, Ba'atzilut pishnaim lo lashon chibur kmo etzlo. And the word Atzilut is basically like the world of, basically the world of Etzlo, which is close to him, from the Hebrew word Etzel. The Lashon of Chibur, which is unified. Ki Olam Atzilut hu hakol elokut gamur. The Olam Atzilut, like we just said, is basically godly. That's what he says here. Kumo shekatuv behakdamat hatikunim. Like it is described in the introduction to the Tikunim. Ba'atzilut, Ihu v'garmohi chad. Him and what it is one, which basically means is a yichud shalem between the Ein Sof and the Atzilut. Continuing on, Kmo shekatuv b'hakdam. V'nikra ein. It's called ein or ayin. Okay, which in Hebrew ayin means nothing. Okay, delet machshava tefisa mahut hit atzlut ve'achibur, because there is no ability for any human being or not a human being, any created being, which includes everything else other than, of course, God, which is not a created being, but all the angels and all the other beings, they have no machshava that is tofes, that can understand. The word understand, that's what's tofes, to grasp. The chibur and the hit atzlut, which means this is a level that is beyond human comprehension. The ihu v'chiyuhu v'garmohi chad, because it and its source is all one. Continuing on, the bi'ur and the explanation, sha'eses sfirot ba'olam ha'atzilut, the 10 sfirot in the world of the atzilut, ein anu yecholim ledam mahutam va'atzmutam. We cannot know their essence or their character to the level of the mahut, their character, because they are godly. Of course, this is beyond human comprehension. Just like it is impossible for a person to understand what is a neshama. We can give it a name, we can sort of say what it might be, but we can't grasp its essence. That the Ein Sof, of course, is achdut, it's all oneness. Vehu koach echad, it is one koach, pashut, which is simple, which with no parts and no pieces, bli ribui ubli chiluk, without any duplication or without any divisions. It's one force. Ken behasfirot shehem orchot. Of course, Ein Sof is an infinite one force, which from that one force comes everything else. And this is all we can say. And obviously there are infinite number of infinite forces. And this is why to understand the essence of Hashem, God, is beyond human comprehension. It's an infinite of infinity. It's infinity alone is beyond human comprehension. We're talking about something that's infinity beyond infinity. So, but the Ein Sof is an infinite one force, which is the Ratzon, the will, for lack of a better term. And that's the Ein Sof. And that is all one. I'm sorry, it's not God. Ein Sof is not God. Ein Sof is an emanation from God. We can say nothing about the essence of God. Kana sfirot shehem orotav v'kochotav. Similarly, the sfirot are his lights and his forces. Hem betachlit hapshitut. In the most simple way, which means without any subdivisions and parts. Just like in his essence there is no separation. Similarly, there is no pirud, there is no separation in his light and his kochot. Now, when we say that there's different sfirot, this is how they manifest the action in the world, and there is differences in how the action of the sfirot is manifested in the world. But the sfirot themselves is all or pashut, simple light. It's just a question of the lens. like we discussed before. Umasha sfirot me'irot be'or shoneh. But what's different is how they are revealed, which means the light of the sfirot is all the same, but how they are revealed, that is different. And then he's going to continue on. Bi'er b'sefer HaPardes, and he explained in the book of the Pardes, which is the Pardes Rimonim, b'mashal le'or hashemesh. He gives a parable. Again, it's not an exact parable. It's a parable that is close, but it's not exact. It's like the light of the sun. Shenichnas derech chalonot, that comes by way of windows. Chalonot habayit, windows of the house. Leha'ir el ever habayit, to give light inside the internal aspects of the house. Me'utzam behirot chozek or hashemesh en ish bavayit yuchal se'eto. That from otzam behirut, from the bright light of the sun, this would not, no one inside the house could be able to withstand if the entire light of the sun would come into the person's house. Ve'enehem shel bnei habayit kahu v'chashchu, and the eyes would be dimmed and would be darkened. Mehabit el Orah shemesh ki oro rav atzum, because if you try to look at the light of the sun, you can't. And that's the parable here. A person to look at the light of the sun, you'll damage your eyes, because the eyes do not have the ability to see the brightness of the sun. This is a similar idea from a parable point of view. Ad she'utzruchu la'asot sham chalonot shel ashishit uzchuchit. But instead, what do you have to do? You have to make windows. We have to make windows, and those windows are glass, and that glass is a little bit, shall we say, some of them are clear, and some of them are not clear. Sheyair shemesh derech halonot, that the light of the shemesh comes by way of the windows, el ever habayit pinimit, into the internal part of the house. Ukeshaor nistam v'nit'alem litnalem k'tzat derech hashishit, and when the light has been limited by the windows, by way of the windows, yuchlu lasigoto, then the people inside the house can appreciate the brightness of the light. It's like the idea of a sunglasses. If even with regular sunglasses, a person really can't look at the sun unless they're very, very powerful sunglasses. That's also, but yeah, that's the same idea. Im kol zeh lechushat ha'omdim babayit, because of the weakness of the people who are living inside the house, tzarich od mesech ve'ashishit sheni, but because the eyes of the people inside the house is still weak, it needs another type of filter. Ad shehutzruchu le'eser ashishiyot, until it got, the light was so bright that 10 different levels of lenses were required so that a person can appreciate that light. She'eser sfirot hem eser aspaklariot vekelim, because the 10 sfirot are 10 different aspaklariot, which is a Greek word that means like a spectacle or lenses, vekelim or utensils, same idea. Shenuchal lahasig darkam et oro yitbarach, that through these spectacles or kelim, utensils, a person can appreciate the light, limited light, because it's been filtered through the different lenses. V'hu mechaye otam, but of course, the source of the light is continuing to shed that light. If the source, God forbid, would be turned down that light, there would be nothing coming through. The source is mechaye otam, gives them life, umitlabesh bahem lif'ol et pe'ulotav, and basically dresses up with the lenses or the kelim to do the actions. This is what we talked about regarding the different names of God and the sfirot, all same thing. Be'olamenu, in our world. So it's the actions that are done through the sfirot based on their different properties, how they filter the or how they filter the atzilut, how they filter the emanation or the abundance or the shefa. This is how there's action in the world. Ube'olam ha'atzilut, and in the world of the atzilut, kli asfirot hem zachim udvukim be'oro yitbarach shenetzlu mimenu. And in the world of the atzilut, the kelim, the utensils of the sfirot, are basically zach. They are pure, they are clear, and they are attached, or they are closest to the light of that's from the Ein Sof, shene'etzlu mimenu, shehu yitbarach me'ir betocham, and he enlightens through them. Just like there is no separation in the essence of God, God forbid, similarly, there's really no separation between the sfirot of the olam ha'atzilut, But that is not the case with the worlds of Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. Shasfirot nifradim mimenu yitbarach nikra olam hapirud. And since the Sfirot are separated from him, that's why these worlds, which is the world of creation, the world of formation, and the world of doing, action, these are called pirud, separated worlds. Kmoshit bar lekaman, like we're going to explain. So the Yichud world, that is the world of the Atzilut. The Pirud world, that is the three worlds of Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. Okay, continue on in the Shaare Orah. In Yud Gimel, Olam HaPirud, on page Memdala, page 44, beneath the line. Orot Olam HaAtzilut Hu Yitbarach Echad Behem. The lights of the world of the Atzilut, Hu Yitbarach, Hashem is one with them. Ma'ashen ken be'olam ha'briya. What is not the case in the world of the Briya, the Yetzirah, the Asiyah, and the Asiyah, which the other three worlds. Shehem nifradim mimenu yitbarach. That's why they're called nifradim, separated, which means God is one with the world of the Atzilut. That's why the world of the Atzilut is Elokut, it's godly. Whereas the other three worlds, which are the created worlds, the Briya, Yetzirah, and Asiyah, these are not one with God. These are separated from God. And because they are separated from Him, they're separated from His oneness specifically. That's why they're called Olam HaPirud, the world of the Pirud. And this is the language in the Hakdama and the Tikkunim, in Daf Gimel Amud Bet. The Eses Sfirot Atzilut Malka Behon, that the 10 Sfirot of the Atzilut, the Malka, the Melech, is in them. Ihu v'garmeu chad behon. Him, the garmeu, and the emanations, chad behon, are one. Inun v'chiyuhun chad behon. Him and the Sfirot are one with them, which means there are three levels here that are being discussed. One is Ihu, which is the essence. The other one is the Chiyuhu, which is the Orot, the lights of the Sfirot. And then Garmaihu, which is the Kelim of the Sfirot. Those are three aspects. There's the inner part, the most inner part, which is the essence. Then there is the Orot, the lights of the Sfirot. And then there is the Kelim of the Sfirot. And that's what it says here. All of those in the world of Atzilut are one. But this is not the case in the 10 Sfirot of the Bria. Inun v'ihu chad, because Him and them are not one. That's what we just talked about, the Olam HaPirud. Ve'ilat al-kola hu nachit be'eser Sfirot Atzilut, and the high of all highs, which of course is Torah Hashem, is basically connected to the 10 Sfirot of the Atzilut, u'be'eser Sfirot the Bria. And the 10 Sfirot of Bria are connected to the Atzilut. V'nahir be'eser kitot malchaya, and it's with the 10 classes of different angels. U'be'eser galgalei de rakia, and the 10 different wheels of the rakia, of the firmament. V'lo yishtaneh v'chol atar, and it doesn't change in any way. U'bi'er ba'arizal hechal abiyah, and it's explained in the Arizal, in the hechal of the abiyah, chelek bet, amud kov vav. She'amachshava mitpashet toch ha'atzilut, that the machshava, which is the thought, goes into the atzilut, ve'ama'aseh ve'amachshava hakol echad. And in atzilut, the ma'aseh, the action and the thought, is all one, which means this is not something we as human beings can understand, how thought and action are the same. For us, thought and action are two separate things. A person thinks and then the action happens. That's not how it works for God. The thought and the action is all the same. But in the Bria, it's like two people. Chas v'shalom. It's not saying chas v'shalom. It's two people. It's separated. Anashim uchmelech im avadav. It's like so in the world of Atzilut, it's all one, but in the Bria, it's really two. It's like the king and his servants. And when the king has a desire for his servants to do his will, all he has to do is speak. God speaks, and this is how the angels do their bidding. This is how the world of Bria works, the world of the speech. And similarly in the person, just like the soul of a person functions through the limbs of the body, ubaim ke'echad haratzon ve'peula, and it appears that the ratzon, the will of the person, and the action is the same. Ken hu hamashal ba'olam ha'atzilut. This is similar to the world of Atzilut. She'atzmut ha'or hamshach me'ansof, that the atzmut of the or that comes from the Ein Sof, that kelim shem asfirot nivru yesh me'ayin, and the kelim that are sfirot are created yesh me'ayin. Here he's talking about the levush, the clothing of the world of Atzilut, which is the other three worlds, the Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. Those three worlds are yesh me'ayin. Atzilut always existed. Like we talked about before, the only difference, the only thing new of the Sfirot of the Atzilut is their ability to be seen through the concept of the Tzimtzum. But there is nothing, their essence was always there. They were just subsumed within the Ein Sof, and through the Tzimtzum, when there was a contraction that allowed them to be seen. But that's the concept of the Kelim. But the Kelim of the Atzilut is really the Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. It's also another concept of colors, and the Atzilut, the Keli of the Atzilut is white, and then the Keli of the Bria is blue, and the Keli of the Tiferet is green, and the Keli of the Malchut is black. So we can understand a white keli really lets everything pass through. So even though it's got a function of a keli, it doesn't prevent anything from passing through. As opposed to the other colors, which is the blue and the green and the black, obviously each one of those can filter the light, can filter the emanation much more. And this is the concept once again that white light, which is like the white of the, which is the keli of the Atzilut, contains within it the lights of all the other ones, because within white light is green and blue, and black is absence of light. That's the whole concept of Malchut, that she's Aniyan Daliyah, that she has nothing. The black, it shows a complete absence of light. So here he's saying that vis-a-vis the Atzilut, the Keli is completely connected. It's only when you're outside and you're looking up that the Keli appears to be separated. And that Keli basically is the other three worlds of the other three worlds, which is the Bria, Yetzirah, and the Asiyah. When they looked at together, they're all one world with Levushim. So you can imagine that those four worlds with Atzilut, Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah, it's basically really one world, the essence, which is the Atzilut, with three Levush, three different types of clothing on them. That's the real concept of the Kelim that is discussed here. That's Yesh Me'ayin. But in the Atzilut, everything is Ayin. There is no Yesh. It's all Ayin. Continuing on. Mitchabrim yachad or v'keli v'nasim echad. That the or and the keli come together and they are one, because once again, when you look on the outside, it's all one. V'sod ihu v'chiyu v'germohu chad behon. That all these things, the essence and the or, the light, and the keli are all one. But vis-a-vis that in the worlds of Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah, b'yachas le'ensof, vis-a-vis the Ensof, hem kiyachas hamelech im avadav. It's like the king with his servants. Sha'eved v'hamelech hem shtei mitzuyot. That the king and the servants are two different types of reality. Nifradot, separated one from another. The Eved poel ratzon hamelech, and the Eved, the servant, does the will of the king. Rak ha'asher hamelech metzaveto, only when the king commands him. The hem bechinot surafim ve'ofanim ve'hayot hakodesh, and these are the angels that are discussed, the surafim ve'ofanim ve'hayot hakodesh. Shekulam shiluchei hamelech, they are all the messengers of the king. Hapoalim la'asot ratzono, that act in order to do his will. Katab b'sefer Shefa Atal, and it's written in the book Shefa Atal. Shelashon bria hu milshon lavrot et hayar. That the word bria is from the lashon of to burn the forest, lavrot et hayar. Shmura al hanituk ve'arichuk shel hakelim, watching or protecting over the connection and the separation and the distance of the kelim shel olamot shem nifradim mimenu, of the worlds that are separated from it. Yitbarak. Gamba ichut hakelim, and also in the characteristic of the kelim. Shekol kli yesh lo et hakoach shel atzmo. Every kli has its own ability, its own power. Ve'en lamalach echad oseh shtei shlichiyot, and no one malach can do different tasks. Which means each kli kavyachol is like the malach that's functioning on behalf of the ratzon of Hashem in the world, functioning in the world. But no malach can do more than two tasks. Lazeh koach esh v'lazeh koach hamayim. For this one is the koach of the ash, and this one is the koach of the mayim. This one has the power of the fire, and this one has the power of the water. Mashen came basar asiroshe b'chol sfira me'elu ein sof, but this is not the case with the 10 sfirot of the Ein Sof. Nichlaalot me'asara kochot be'ofan she'en bahem kitzutz berud v'chiluk. Because inside each one of the 10 sfirot of the Ein Sof is contained all of these 10 kochot without any separation whatsoever. They're all one, without any separation at all. And one cannot ask, how is it possible with one potential that you can do multiple different tasks, multiple different separated tasks? The analogy would be that just like God gave to a person seichel, gave to a person intelligence, and through this intelligence, a person can do all the melachot in the world, all the different works, all the different labors in the world. The kulam nifalim benaasim ayidei seichel hapashut shebeguf adam, and all of them are done by way of the seichel of the person of the guf adam. Ad kan dvarav. This is how it's explained in the Shef Hadal. Continuing on in Yud Daled, the nahar yotze me'eden lashkot et hagan, and a river leaves Eden to give water to the gan, to the garden. Ita b'Gemara, it is taught in the Gemara, Masechet Brachot, on Daf Lamed Daled Amud Bet. Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi said, Mai, what does it mean when it says Ayin lo ra'ata, that the eye did not see? Ze yain hamishumar ba'anava misheshit yemei breshit. This is the wine that is preserved in its grapes from the 6 days of creation, which is a very, very strange term. First of all, how is wine preserved in grapes? You get wine by squeezing grapes, and then the juice of the grapes ferments, and you get wine. Of course, if you look on the Lubavitch, the 770 wine, the Keser wine, it will say, this is the exact pasuk that we should all have the zechut to have benefit from the wine that is Mishumar Mishesh Yemei Breshit. But what does this mean? What is this talking about? Rabbi Shimon, continuing on in the Gemara, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish Omer, Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish said, Ze Eden. This is Eden. Shelo Rata Ayin Me'olam. That no eye was able to see Eden. Let's see what this means. V'im tomar Adam hechan haya dar began. But if you're going to ask, but we know the person, the man, where did Adam live? Adam lived in but he didn't live in Eden. He lived in the Gan, right? What does it say in the pasuk? Vayita Hashem Elokim Gan be'Eden mikedem. So these are two different terms. One is the garden, and one is Eden. There's the Garden of Eden, the Gan Eden, but Eden is a separate term. There's Eden, and then there's the Garden of Eden. So basically, this is saying the Eden, this is Ayin Lo Ra'ata. This is what Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish says. V'im tomar gan ze'ed. And if you're going to say, no, it's the same thing, Gan and Eden is the same thing, Talmud Lomar, the pasuk says, "V'nahar yotze me'eden lashkot et hagan," that there's a river that leaves Eden and brings water to the Gan, to the garden. So clearly, these are two different things because the river is bringing from Eden to the Gan. And we're going to see what this whole thing means. It's absolutely amazing. Hare Eden lachud, the Gan lachud. So we see from here the Gemara learns that these are two separate things. Eden and Gan are not the same. There's the Garden of Eden, but there's Eden, which is something different than the garden. Ubi'er Rabbeinu b'Sefer Shaare Tzedek, and our rabbi, which is Rabbi Yosef Katilia, in one of the other books that he wrote, which is called Shaare Tzedek, explained, Sfirat HaChochma Nikrat Eden. The Sfirah of Chochma, which is the second Sfirah after the Keter, is called Eden. Klomar, what does that mean? Hamakor hanovea min haketer, which means the chokhmah is the sfirah that is the source of everything, but everything is received from the keter, right? The keter is higher than the chokhmah. The chokhmah is the first place where human beings can begin to have a contemplation about sublime things. The keter is way beyond human comprehension. So it says over here that the makor hanovea mina keter, that is the sfirah of the chokhmah. It's the source that receives its sustenance from the keter. Ke'eden shehu lashon makor, like the word Eden, which is really from a language of makor, which is source. Ukeha de amrenan besara imenu, like it's said by Sarah imenu in Parashat Vayera. Achare shnifsak hamakor midameha, after the source of her blood stopped, which means when she said, I have no more period, how am I going to give birth to a son? And she was not she didn't have the ability to give birth to children. Why? Because the makor, the place, the source of her blood, as it says, was not able to have children because it stopped. And what was the language the Torah uses there? Achare beloti haitali edna. After I am beloti, which means I am empty. Haitali edna. I had previously edna. Edna in Hebrew is the female version of Eden. There's Eden and Edna. So we see, even though over there it's from the Pshat explaining delicate and nice, that's the concept of Eden, which is nice and delicate. Here it means something else. Here it's talking about the Makor. And that's what Rabbi Gikatili explained about this pasuk that's in Parashat Vayera. Continuing on, Ubiura pasuk katav Rabbeinu lekaman, and our rabbi in this book, Shaare Orah and Shaar Tet, which is the Shaar of the Chokhmah, explained, Vezelo shono, and this is his language, this is what he said, Ukva bi'anu v'nahar yotzeh me'eden, and we already explained where he is now. This is in Shaar Tet, which is we'll hopefully get to one of these days. We already explained that the Nahar, the river, comes from Eden, Ze Binah, which means the Nahar is Binah, which is the Sphira underneath the Chokhmah. From the Chokhmah goes through the Binah, and that's the word is over there is the Nahar. Yotzeh me'eden comes from Eden, from the Chokhmah, which means the Binah comes from the Chokhmah. Yotzeh mina Chokhmah shu sod makor comes from the Chokhmah, which is the secret of the source. Hanimshach meketer ha'elyon, which draws from the keter, which is above the Chokhmah. Lahashkot et hagan. What does this mean? To give water to the gan. Lahashkot sfirat malchut. Malchut is gan. And that he's going to discuss that in just in the chapter a little bit later on. The concept of gan is malchut, the nukva. The binah, which is the first hay of Hashem's name, which is the third sphira. Shehi sod hanahar. This is the sod of the nahar, the river. Mashke ha-malchut shehi hagan, gives water to the malchut, which is the gan, be'emtsaut vav sfirot, with the intercession of 6 sfirot, which of course is Gedolah, which is Chesed. The language of the Rishonim, especially Rabbi Gikatilia, it's not called Chesed, it's called Gedolah. Why? From the pasuk, Lecha Adonai ha-Gedolah ve'ha-Gevurah ve'ha-Tiferet. So we see Gedolah over there means Chesed. And then we now have an understanding when we say Shmona Esrei and we say Ha'el ha-Gadol ha-Gibor ve'ha-Norah. What does it mean big? You're complimenting that God is big? What does that mean? Gadol means Chesed. Gadol, Gibor, Givurah, bravery or justice. Ve'ha-Norah. Norah is Rachamim. We learned that from Yaakov. Ma norah ha'makom hazeh en zeh ki im bet Elohim ve'zeh sha'ar hashamayim. That's Yaakov. That's the Rachamim. That's the Tiferet. Continuing on, so that Gedolah, Gevurah, Tiferet, Netzach, Chod, Yesod. These are the 6 sfirot. Shehu Sod Vav. This is the secret of the Vav, the 6. Sheben Ot Hey, that is between the first Hey, which corresponds to the Binah in Yud Kei Vav Kei. Rishonah Shel Shem, of the first Hey of Hashem's name. Lehei Achrona, with the last Hey. So those are, shall we say, the female of both of them, the Hey and the Hey. What's between those is the Vav. The first Hey is the Binah. The Vav is those 6 sfirot we just talked about. And the last Hey is the Malchut. Umi Malchut ulamata, and from the Malchut and below, Hu Olam HaPirud. This is the world of the separations, the Pirud, which is the Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah. V'haya daled rashim, and it basically becomes 4 rashim. Sod daled machanot shechina, And this is the sod of the 4 different encampments of the Shekhinah, Hamit Pardot Misod Olam HaYichud, that separate from the sod of the Olam of the Yichud, which is the Atzilut, Shehu Sod Arba Otiot B'Yichud, which is the 4 letters of Hashem's name together, the Dalad Rashim Bepirud, and there are 4 different Rashim in the Pirud. I'm not going to explain any further. We'll leave that alone for now. Let's continue on with the Tet Vav. Arba Machanot Shekhinah. Now he's going to explain what are these Arba Machanot Shekhinah. Bi'er HaNefesh HaChaim. So what I love about this explanation, he's bringing books that are Nefesh HaChaim and other books that have been written by other rabbis to bring sources explaining what Rabbi Gid Katilia is talking about. Bi'er Nefesh HaChaim, we see, look how much explanation is needed to explain a few words of the rabbi on top. So that's showing you that in the Middle Ages, like this rabbi here who wrote this in the 1200s, he wrote it what was revealing, but a lot of things he was not revealing. And that's what all the stuff on the bottom is, to give you more insight into exactly what he's talking about. Bi'er Nefesh HaChaim, it's explained in Nefesh HaChaim, She'arba Machanot Shekhinah, that the 4 encampments of the Shekhinah, Hem Shoresh Ve'achayot Shel Kol HaNivraim HaTachtonim. It is the Shoresh, it is the root of all of the creations, that the lower creations. V'zeh Leshono, and this is his language. Ki klale kol habruim ve'kochot hatachtonim, that the principles of all of the created beings and the forces, the lower forces, hem mihit mazgut ha'arba yesodot. This is from receiving sustenance from the 4 yesodot. The 4 yesodot, of course, are esh, mayim, avir, and afar, and dust. It's fire, water, dust, and air. Those are the 4 yesodot. That's spoken about in a lot of the books, on the from the non-Jews regarding the 4 elements. We're not necessarily talking elements. There are 92 elements that we know. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the 4 yesodot, which basically means the 4 foundations that everything's built on. Some people on the physical world will learn them as the 4 stages of matter, which of course is solid, liquid, gas, and energy. After Einstein's equations, energy is one of the stages of matter, because matter and energy are interchangeable with each other, and each one would correspond to a different one of those 4 yesodot. But that's in the physical world. Now we're going to talk about in the spiritual world. There are similar items, the 4 yesodot, which he's going to discuss here. V'shoresh arba yesodot hem me'arba malachim, and the source and the shoresh, the root of these 4 yesodot, are from 4 angels. Hanikrim arba machanot shekhinah. And these angels, these 4 angels, are called the 4 encampments of the Shekhinah. Simana, that its siman is argaman. Argaman, even though that's 5 letters, okay, we'll maybe talk about that. Argaman, there are 5 angels that are referred to, and those are argaman. By the way, those are the only angels that their names were allowed to pronounce, because those names are mentioned in the Tanakh. Other angels' names we are not allowed to pronounce. You read, if you see it in a Siddur, you look, you can think about the name, but you're not allowed to pronounce the name of any angel. Certainly not any angels that are destruction. That's a really, really bad idea. But the angels, Argaman, is Uriel, Raphael, Gavriel, Michael, and Nuriel. These are the 5 angels that are hinted to with the word Argaman. Continuing on, V'ha'arba'a malachim, but 4 angels, what we're talking about, Elu shorsha me'arba chayot ha'merkava. The source of these are from the 4 animals that are in the Merkava, which means when Yechezkel saw the Merkava, he he had a vision of 4 animals in the chariot. Of course, this is all analogy. There's no animals in the Shamayim, but this is all what he was, in his imagination, what he was seeing to understand the deeper concepts that were hinted to that we're discussing here. Shehem klale kol shasher nafshot kol abriyim hatachtonim, and this is the source of all of this of the creations, the lower creations. Ve'atam sholam hapirud nechlak la'arba rashim, and the reason why the world of the pirud that is separated into 4 different rashim. Rashim, again, elements. One could say it's the same idea. Rosh, which is an element. Keneged arba'a ruchot hashamayim. It's basically keneged the 4 different directions. Ve'arba Yesodot, and the four elements, like we said, Ve'arba Machanot Shechina, and the four Machanot Shechina. All these are four. Again, four is a very common number that we see repeating itself. Shelachol Machaneh Yesh Koach Bifnei Atzmo, which with each Machaneh there is a force within it, yes. Shehu Nifrad Mechavero, that is different from his friend. This is the concept of two angels do not do the same shlichut, that Michael has a function and Raphael has a function. Each angel has its own function. Then Malach Oseh Shtei Shlichut, he just said that. One angel does not do two different does not deliver two different messages. And each one is different, which means each one of these four angels has a different quality in his action. But this is not the way in the Atzilut. But it's all one, like we previously explained. Ayen Rabbeinu Bachye, and look in Rabbeinu Bachye, which is in Sefer Bemidbar, chapter 2, verse number 2. Shebi'er Barucha Ech Tzvaot Yisrael. He explained in detail, which over there in Sefer Bemidbar, it's talking about the Digalim, the flags, and there it's talking about the Machanot. And if you remember over there, in the Machanot, there were four different groups, each one having their own flag, yeah? So the same idea here, because the Machanot of the kingdom of the Malchut, which is the Jewish people, Mamlechet Kohanim Begoy Kadosh, is similar to the kingdom in the Shamayim. This just shows that the Jewish people are connected to God in that way. So Rabbeinu Bachye explained over there, Barucha Ech Tzvaot Yisrael, how the encampments of the Jewish people, Lemata Bedalad Machanot, in the four different encampments that were in the wilderness, Niksharim V'Ne'echazim Im Tzvaot Malchei Sharet Lemala, how they are connected to the four different angels that are in the Shamayim, the four armies in the Shamayim. So we see there's these parallels between the Malchut in the Shamayim and the Malchut in the Aretz. Rabbeinu Bachye is one of the explainers. He's from the Middle Ages of the Torah, and what's unique about his Perush is that he explains all four of the Pardes. In his Perush, Rashi just deals with Drash for the most part, except a grammatical and Drash, which is Midrash, which is exposition. But Rabbeinu Bachye deals with Pshat, which is the simple meaning, the Drash, the exposition, Remez, hints, and Sod, secrets. Other Rishonim, like the Rakanti, just deal with the Sod. Ramban deals with the Pshat and the Drash and the Sod, and sometimes the Remez as well. And of course we have the Orah, which deals with the four as well, the four different levels. So we see these are the Mefarshim of the Torah that have connected to them the Sod. Rabbeinu Bachye also discusses the Sod in his book, because they're Rishonim. Often when you read it in their Perush, it's very, very difficult to understand what they're talking about unless you have a Perush, an explanation of the explanation. But after a person finishes reading this book, you may have a better understanding of what Rabbeinu Bachye and what the Rakanti is talking about. Be'ezrat Hashem, maybe as we go further in the book, some of these sources that he's quoting in the Rakanti, we'll look inside. It's gewaldic, to be honest with you. Okay, let's look at Tet Zayin, and then it's still below the lines, and then we'll get back to the top of the line. So he spent all this time speaking about just the first couple of sentences that we've read so far today. Tet Zayin, Shehu Sof Kol Ma'alot, that this is the Sof, the end of all of the levels. Lekaman b'Shar Chet, and later on in the book in Shar Chet is a Shar that he deals with the Sfira of the Binah. Bi'er Rabbeinu et ha'inyan barucha v'zelo sheno. He explained this concept of Sof Kol Ma'alot, and this is his language there. Nimtzet lamed ki elu shtei Sfirot. We learn that these two Sfirot, Shehem Binah Malchut, which is the Binah, which is the third Sfirah, and the Malchut, which is the 10th. Again, one corresponding to the first Hey of Hashem's name, the other one corresponding to the last Hey of Hashem's name. Hem Sibat Hitgalut Keter. This is the basically the cause of the revelation of the Keter Elyon, which is the Keter, which means the will of Hashem is revealed in the world through the Binah and through the Malchut. The Sibat HaShefa Ubracha, and this is going to become very, very important over the next couple of weeks as we learn what does it mean when we say bracha. The Sibat HaShefa Ubracha, and the source of the Shefa, the abundance, and the bracha, the blessing, the Kiyum L'chol Hanimtzayim, and the sustenance or existence for everything that is created. Sfirat Bina, the Sfirah of the Bina, Moshechet HaShefa, the Sfirah of the Bina draws the abundance, Ha'elyon, from above, Min HaMakor, from the source, which we just said is the Chokhmah, which then gets its abundance from the Keter, Lezayin Sfirot Shetachteah, to the 7 Sfirot that are below it, Ad Shemitmalet Midat HaMalchut Mikol Minei Shefa Bracha. And this continues to draw that sustenance. The Binah draws the sustenance from the source and feeds it through the 6 Sfirot of the Ze'er Anpin until the Malchut is filled with all kinds of Shefa, or abundance, and Bracha. Remember, the Malchut has nothing to herself. Everything she has is she's receiving from above or from below. But here we're talking about receiving from above. Usfirat HaMalchut, and the Sfirah of the Malchut, Moshechet Mikol Minei Bracha V'Shefa V'Atzilut Min HaSfirot Yalea. And the Malchut draws, so we see the parallel between the Binah and the Malchut is they both draw from what's above them. They draw from what's above, from the Sfirah Yalea, which of course is what's above the Malchut, as he mifarneset et kol hanimtzaim lamala mata. And then the Malchut, what she then does is gives it over to above and below. She sends it back up and she gives it to below. And that is the concept of Isha, the Nekeva. As the Gemara says, that a man comes home from work and he brings home wheat and he gives it to his wife. Does she just give him wheat to eat? No, she takes the wheat and she makes it into bread. So we see the role of the Malchut is to receive from what's above and then to make it better by giving it over to what's below. And that's what he just said here. Ulefisha Sfirat Malchut Hisoda Parnas Hagadol, that the Malchut is really the Parnas Hagadol. The Parnas is the sustainer, the great sustainer. And this is the whole concept amongst the Goyim of Mother Nature, but we'll leave that alone. Hamifarneset Kol Anivraim, that gives sustenance to all of the creations. Umimidat habina, and from the bina, from the Sfirah of the bina, yavol kol habrachot lemidat hamalchut. All of the brachot that come to malchut come from the bina by way of the 6 Sfirot that we discussed before. The asod, and the secret, the nahar yotzeh me'eden, that a nahar, the river, leaves Eden. Hu sod bina. We said the nahar is the bina. Hayotzeh mimakom haketer, which comes from the keter, which is really the chokhmah and the keter together. Al yedei chokhmah comes from the keter by way of the chokhmah, hanikra ratzon. So the keter is called ratzon, the chokhmah is called the makor. So from the ratzon of Hashem through the makor, which is the chokhmah, then to the binah, where then it is given over to the malchut through the 6 Sfirot. The binah hi nikret rechovot hanahar, and the binah is called rechovot hanahar, which means the widening of the river. Lahashkot et hagan, to give water to the garden. Zoi sfirat malchut. Saying it again. The garden is the Sfirah of the Malchut. Hamekabelet kol minei shefa ubracha nov'im al yedei Sfirat habina. That the Malchut receives all types of shefa, all types of abundance and bracha, that is given over, or that is novea, that is flowing forward from the Sfirah of the Binah. Umisham yipared, and from there, from the world yipared, the world of the Pirud, yipared, klomar, what does that mean? Misfirat hamalchut, from the Sfirah of the Malchut, ulmata, below, what's below the Malchut of the Atzilut, which is the other worlds, the Bria, the Yetzirah, and Asiyah. Ulmata yitparadu minei shefa, which means the abundance then separates when it leaves the Malchut. Lefarnes kol hanivraim kefi hadin haraui, to give to all of the creations according to the appropriate amount, what is based on the judgment. Ki ad sfirat hamalchut, because until the Sfirah of the Malchut, husot hayichud amiti hashalem. We discussed this already. That is the yichud. That's the oneness. Yes, the Malchut of the Atzilut is all connected together. Umimidat Malchut ulmata, but from the Malchut and below, husod olam pirud. This is the concept of the world of the pirud, that there's that separation. And of course, the role of a Jew in prayer is to make that connection so that one can receive the abundance. We'll talk about that later. The ayala arba rashim, and then it becomes 4 different rashim. Hu sod arba machanot. This is the secret of the 4 encampments. Asher mehem nitpardu kol hachavilot. That from them is separated all the bundles. Bechol bru'ei mala umata. And all the creatures above and below. That's the 4 we talked about. The angels we talked about. The yesodot be'olam malachim, in the world of the angels. Uchnegdam b'shamayim, and vis-a-vis them in the shamayim, uchnegdam ba'aretz, which means just like there are these 4 aspects, the esh, mayim, avir, and the adama, that are in the spiritual world, those are also in the physical world. Ad kan lishono. All right, let's go on. We're on page Memvav. We're above the line again. Let's see if we can read this paragraph. Maybe we'll do Yud Chet and then we'll be finished. Okay? So continuing on, it says here, Hashem hazeh hanikra aleph daled nud yud amonai hu b'dimyon otzar ubet genazim. It is like an otzar, a treasure house, and a house of storage. L'chol minei shefa, for all kinds of abundance, uminei atzilut, and all kinds of from emanation. The word atzilut also means emanation. Kol hahavayot hanimshachot met havaya. All of the realities that are withdrawn or that are brought forth from Havaya, which is Yud Ke Vav Ke, Yitbarach b'derech kol hanitzinorot, by way of all the pipes. This is what we're referring to here. The tzinorot are the 6. Ad shenimtza shlosha shemot mechuvanim zeh keneged zeh, until we find that there are 3 names that are one next to each other, or not next to each other, but one above the other. Zeh keneged zeh, which basically means Amonai lemata, aleph daled nun yud, which corresponds to the Sfirah of the Malchut, that is below, that is the lowest one. Havaya ba'emtza, Yud Ke Vav Ke, which is in the middle. Eheye lemala, aleph he yud he, which corresponds to the Keter. If you think about the structure, in the middle, what's in the middle? If you start on the bottom, there's the Malchut. The Yesod obviously is in the middle too, but they're connected together, okay? And then the next Sfirah above that is the Tiferet, which represents all of the 6, which is the Zer Anpin, which is the Yud Ke Vav Ke. And then if you go higher above that, the next Sfirah that's in the middle is the Keter, and that's the Ratzon, and that's the Aleph He Yud He. Umishem Eyeh, and from the name Aleph He Yud He, Yit Atzilu Kol Minei Shefa Atzilut, emanates from that name all types of abundance and emanation. Min hamakor, from the source, hanikra Ein Sof, which is called Ein Sof, without end. B'derech hama'alot, by way of the ma'alot, the levels. Ad sheyagiu l'shem havaya yitbarach, until it comes to havaya, which is the Zer Anpin, which is the Tiferet, or the 6. Umishem Havaya, and from the name Havaya, Yelchu Kol HaTzinorot HaMshachot L'Shem Amonai. And from Yud Ke Vav Ke comes all the tzinorot, all the pipes, and all the things bringing it to the name Amonai, which is the Malchut. Let's go to Yud Zayin. Dimyon Otzar Bet Genazim. HaMalchut Nikret Nukva. The Malchut is called Nukva, which basically means the female in Aramaic. V'hi dala v'aniya v'let la migarma klum. She is dala, which basically means she is empty, v'aniya, and she is poor. V'let la, and she does not have anything of herself, which means she has nothing herself. All she is there is to be a receiver. Ki en la shum or v'koach me'atzma. She has no koach, and she has no strength of her own. The analogy would be like the moon. All of the light of the moon is what's received from the sun and reflected to us. The moon corresponds to the Shekhinah, which is the Malchut, because the moon has no shine. The only shine that comes from the moon is what's coming from the sun. Continuing on, that's the analogy, not 100%, but close, okay? V'koach me'atzma rak shehi otzar. So what is the koach? What is the power or the strength of the Malchut? That she is a storage house. She's a treasure house or a bayit, a house, lema shemekabelet mibala, to what she receives from her husband. Here the analogy, of course, would be her husband would be the kuchabrichu. V'hainu mishesh sfirot ha'alyanot, from the 6 sfirot that are above her. V'hi ena mashpia l'sfira acheret, and she does not give influence to any other sfira. Ki hi hatachtona mikulam, because she is the lowest one of all of them. Raki mehaleket et hashpata, but what she does is she divides up the abundance, letachtonim, amongst the tachtonim. And if you think about it, that's precisely what is done. What it says, when a person brings home wheat, what does a wife do? She chops up the wheat kernels, she makes flour, and from that she makes bread. So in order to take what's given, first you break it up into pieces, and then you put together something. So that's the concept of breaking it up into pieces. Pirud, same idea. L'tachtonim, kedimyon ha'isha. Similarly, he's going to give the analogy like a woman. Hamekabelet hashpata mi'ba'ala mechalech debanea. That she receives what her husband brings home from in the typical household. Of course, we're not speaking about nowadays. Maybe women can earn money too, but here's talking about from the classical, where the husband brings home sustenance, he brings home money, or he brings home food, and what does she do? She then gives it out to her children. The Gam Nikret Eretz, and the Malchut is also called Eretz. So far we've seen the Malchut is called Eretz, and it's called Gan. We're going to talk about that more. Ki kedimyon Eretz, she is like the Eretz, the land. She'ena yechola latzmiach ma'atzma klum. Land can do nothing. The land has no ability to do anything. Im lo yinaten betocha hazera ve'ageshem. But in order for the land to be able to produce any sustenance, first you have to put the seed, and then you have to put geshem, water. And only after she receives the shefa, which is the geshem or the zera, okay, then the land is what allows it to grow up. Like it's written in the book of the Pardes Rimonim, that the Yesod, which is the sixth one, receives from all the ones above and gives it over to the Malchut. And without the Malchut, the six Sfirot, or the Yesod, and all the other six, have no Hanhaga, have no way to function in the world. Because everything is given in her hand, which is a secret of a good Jewish marriage, that the husband comes home and he gives all the money to the wife and lets her do what she's got to do with it. He shouldn't be so involved in that. Sorry if I'm making an analogy from here. And they have no ability to have influence on what's below except through the Malchut. Continuing on, Beseder hashpat hashefa leolamot hatachtonim hu b'mashal ish veisha. And we see the analogy of a husband and wife is brought here, that it's similar in the Shamayim, again, because man was created b'tselem Elokim, so which means that we can learn analogies from a relationship between a man and a woman to what's going on in the Shamayim. Of course, there's no man and woman in the Shamayim. The woman receives the strength or the vigor from the man, and then she gives it over to the children. Similarly, the Shekhinah Kedosha, the Holy Shekhinah, by way of the unification between the Kucha Brichu, which is the Vav, and the Shechinte, which is the Malchut, the Nukva, the female, Mekabelet et Shefa, then she receives the Shefa, Kedei la'ashpia la'am Yisrael, to give sustenance to Am Yisrael, which are the Banim. And that's what the Torah says, what it means, Banim atem la'Hashem Elokechem. Continuing on, like it was explained in the book Pitchei Sharim, which is one of the students of the Gra. Nukva hi ha'ikarit b'sidur hanhagat hanivraim v'hashpatam b'chol partehem. That the nukva is the ikar, is the essence. We see this concept also. What do we call the wife? Akeret habayit. The essence, or the akeret is the anchor of the house, the foundation of the house, akeret habayit. So similarly here, nukva hi ha'ikarit, the essential item, besidur hanhagat nivraim, in dividing up the things to the created beings, the hashpatam b'chol pratehem, and allowing it to be broken up into different details that is given to all the creations. V'hi mamash k'mo ha'isha, it's exactly like the woman, hageshamit, like a physical woman, haminaheget et habayit lefi haseder hara'ui, that she runs the household according to a proper order, lefi erachiyut habayit, according to what is needed for the sustenance of the house, b'ma sheba'ala marviach, from what her husband is able to earn, lefi yoshro v'rov kvodo, according to how straight he is and how much honor he has, Kach hu mamash be'orot elyonim. This is similar, the analogy in the Shamayim as well. Zachar nekeva da'atzilut. The Zachar, which is the kuchabrichu, which is the vav, and the nekeva, which is the atzilut, which is the nukva, which is the malchut of the atzilut. Hem ikar hahanaga. This is the essential, and that's why every mitzvah we say l'shem kuchabrichu ushchintei. Ze'er anpin, which is, we said, the small face, which is the 6 sfirot. Hu ha'ish. This is like the analogy of the man. Hamechin kol advarim hanitzrachim lanivraim, that prepares everything that is needed for the created beings. Lefi inyan hitpa'uloto mimaaseh atachtonim, according to the actions of the ones who are lower. Children who misbehave are less likely to get what they're supposed to get from their mother. Same idea. The nukva shelo mekabelet kol hasidarim, and the nukva of the husband, which means the wife, she receives all of the different sidarim orders. And this is how she gives influence or abundance below. The Gimel Olamot, in the 3 different worlds, Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiyah, that we mentioned before. And therefore we say in the Malchut, Let le megarma klum. And that's why we say she has nothing on her own. Rak ma shehi mekabelet mi ba'ala. Only what she receives from her husband. K'mosh ha'isha, similarly the wife, hageshamit, mekabelet hakol mi ba'ala. That if her husband is doing the right thing, he should be earning a living that she can be sustained through what he is bringing home. The kol ha'yichud ben hanhagat zeranpin, and all of the unification that is between the zeranpin, which is the male, hanikra hakadosh baruch hu, which is called hakadosh baruch hu or kuchabrichu in Aramaic. Leven hanagat hamalchut, vis-a-vis the malchut, hanikret shechinte, which is the shechina, that's the nukva, the female. Naasa al yedei maaseh mitzvot shel hatachtonim. All of this unification that we're talking about between the kuchabrichu, which is the male, and the female, the shechinte, is done through the mitzvot of the tachtonim, which is the Jewish people, the mitzvot that we do. And that's why we say, L'shem kuchabrichu ushchintei. B'chol mitzvah she'adam oseh, with every mitzvah that a person does, hu oseh yichudim umamshich shefa la'olam. This is the whole concept of yichudim. Through the performance of the mitzvah, he is doing yichudim in the shamayim, and through this a person brings abundance. Because if there's no yichud between the kuchabrichu ushchintei, then the malchut doesn't receive. If she doesn't receive, she has nothing to give. But when a Jew does a mitzvah, he connects the ze'er anpin, which is the masculine, to the feminine, the shechintei, and through that a Jew gets the sustenance. Ulehefech, and the opposite is the averot, the sins. Gormim l'shchinat uzenu, cause the shechina, cause our shechina, shenodedet mehaitkashruta ha'elyon besod hagalut, that basically she is separated, chas v'shalom, from the connection, the upper connection, in the sod of the galut. That has the whole concept of the galut, which is the exile. And that's why the Gemara says, when God sent the Jewish people out of the land of Israel, the Shekhinah went with them, because there's a separation because of the galut of the Jewish people, the exile of the Jewish people, between the malchut and the kucha and the masculine. And that's the whole concept of shir hashirim, lecha dodi likrat kala. The dod is the kuchabrichu, and the kala is the female, the woman. And that's corresponding to the Shabbat, which is a unification, that even if a person is in the galut, but Shabbat is almost like his ke'en olam haba. And that's the whole concept of techiyat hametim, which is Shabbat shekulo, like mizmor tidla, shir la tidla vo, yom shekulo Shabbat, a day that's always Shabbat, not a day but 1,000 years. As b'makom shetashpia shechina bevet hamikdash, and now because the shechina is in the galut, so instead of the shechina having ability to have abundance directly from the kuchabrichu in the bet hamikdash, la'am Yisrael, to the Jewish people be'eretz Yisrael, for the Jewish people when they're in the proper place, eretz, once again, where they are, sheet gadav gadash mo ba'olam, which allows the name of God to be raised up in the world. He mashbiat shefa l'umot haolam. She, the Shekhinah, because she's in the galut, gives over her shefa to the goyim, v'laklipot, and also to the husks. We'll talk about what that is. The Yisrael nizonim al yadam, and what happens is we receive the sustenance through them. This is not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be we receive directly from the Shekhinah, but in order for that to happen, we need the Bet HaMikdash to be built, and that's what he's talking about here. All right, we will stop here. If anybody has any questions, and we'll continue with Yud Chet next week. Have a wonderful night. Baruch Adonai leolam, amen ve'amen.